Hello, free-to-play OG here, and thank you so much for coming to check out our free-to-play and new player dispatch guide for Marvel Future Fight in 2025. Really quick, I'll just let you guys know that we're recording this video in March of 2025, and when I explain my team and how some of this stuff was done, it's just important to let you know that some of these things may have changed if we're far out into the future from here. So on our first screen here, you can see some of the achievements that we were able to clear on our free-to-play account that we're currently running a series on the channel. On day 7, we were on stage 8-4 and had gotten to level 30 on our dispatch level. Day 11, we had reached stage 12 and we're on level 32. Day 28, stage 12-5, level 38. And day 32, stage 13-5, and still at level 38. So in this video, I'll be breaking down dispatch mode, how it works, why I think it's so valuable, and the team I used, some strategies that I used to achieve these stages. If that sounds interesting to you, stick around for the guide. Let's get started. So heading over to our free-to-play account, we are on day 40 here, and we'll head into our dispatch section. And let's start by breaking down dispatch mode. Now, the reason I think dispatch mode is so important in Marvel Future Fight is dispatch mode is the mode in this game that provides the most passive rewards. Once you unlock the stages and challenges in dispatch modes, you can get an absolutely incredible amount of energy, tier 3 materials, tier 2 materials, some tier 4 materials, clear tickets, Norn stones, energy, tons and tons of energy, and tons of gold. Not utilizing this game mode at the beginning of your account hampers your progress dramatically. I think that dispatch mode is probably the single best way to accelerate your count in Marvel Future Fight as a new player and particularly as a free-to-play player. Now let's get into how it works. So here on Sector 1 in Stage 1-1, you'll see two tabs right here. One shows us the challenges for the stage, these right here, and one shows us the enemies that we'll be fighting inside the stage, including the boss. Here you can see the rewards that are available from this stage if it is run using energy. One thing that's unique about dispatch mode is that you can run it with or without energy. If you run it with energy, you will have a chance at getting the rewards that are listed here, as well as data for the shield archive. And there you can see, you can get 5-star obelisks from stage 1-1 of dispatch. So here you set your teams. You can auto progress and use your clear tickets to do these stages at a pretty good rate of clear tickets to stages, which is very important because we're going to be doing a lot of auto clearing on dispatch. Here on this screen, you can see the stages listed out, 1-1 through 1-5. You can see the 3 challenges for each stage here. And you can see that as you complete them, you get more time added to the amount of rewards that can accrue in that sector. So here you can see we've unlocked all 15 challenges, and that means we can get up to 12 hours of rewards from this sector. If we go over to a sector where I have not cleared all the challenges, you can see here we only get up to 6 hours of rewards. So clearing all those challenges is very important and something you're going to work on as you progress in dispatch. The other part of this mode that's very important to look at is the dispatch section. As you clear through the stages, you'll unlock these rows in the dispatch section where you can equip heroes from your roster, and they will add combat power up in the upper left here to this bar based on this score right here. This score is increased by their rank, mastery level, and tier level. As you add stronger heroes to these sectors of dispatch, you will increase your growth grade. Your growth grade will provide bonuses to the amount of materials, gold, and energy that are dropped in that sector. This increases in increments of 5. So at growth grade 5, you'll get 10% bonus supply. At growth grade 10, you'll get 20% bonus supply. It is very, very good and very important to keep track of these growth grades on your sectors. And if you want, you can actually manipulate them. So in the sectors where the most valuable rewards for your account drop, you put the most powerful heroes and get a growth grade to get extra resources from that particular sector. This will also show you your gold per minute for that sector. And those are the rewards that you will get. You can also see your dispatch level down here in the lower left. This is increased simply by running stages with or without energy. Without energy is important because you can, if you have a second device or are comfortable leaving your computer on, leave your team running dispatch stages on autoplay overnight to grind out this experience. And on an early account, that can net you a whole lot of chests, as you get a dispatch level chest for each level that can contain premium rewards. And I have found in the first 40 levels, it often does. It sometimes will not. These two buttons down here are incredibly important. Let's start by talking about the Claim All Rewards button. This simply claims all the rewards from all your dispatch sectors. Now, we're only looking at probably an hour and a half worth of rewards here on my dispatch sectors, but you can see just how valuable these rewards are. Absolutely awesome stuff. And this account has cleared very, very far in dispatch from where I'm at, I will say that. So we're receiving quite a bit of rewards, and I've put a lot of effort into increasing my growth grades and level. The other thing here is the dispatch shop. This is something you're going to want to level up. It's very important. You can get all kinds of fantastic things here, including 6-star comet cards for 600,000 gold. You can get rank 2 materials, rank 3 materials, sometimes for gold, and sometimes for the dispatch tokens, that you receive from your sectors just from collecting rewards. You can also use these dispatch tokens to refresh the shop inventory 10 times per day. You get 1 free refresh, but I try not to refresh the shop when it's an hour away from refreshing on its own. You can also, I can't show you because my shop is fully upgraded, but when you are upgrading your shop, you'll have a little button that'll show you the rewards that you'll unlock from the next tier of your shop. All right, heading out of there, let's move on to talking about some of the roadblocks in dispatch and some of the places where you're going to get snagged along the way. The first enemy that you're likely to encounter that is going to give you trouble is in Sector 5, Stage 4. Here you're going to run into good old Maximus. Maximus is level 72, which does mean he's going to be harder to hit for lower level characters. But he also has some kind of shield generation that he does that you just simply have to burn through. So he's just set up to be a wall. And I found I simply just had to have enough damage. The reason I broke through this, I believe, was getting the Tier 3 Loki on day 4 from the 7-day check-in. Once I got my Loki, I was able to gear him up a bit and get through the stage, I believe. The next roadblock you're likely to hit, and you may hit others, but these are just some of the ones I'm very aware of. On stage 8-4, Caecilius gave me a hard time. And most of these I'm pointing out, the way to get through these stages is simply by getting that tier 3, or getting that level 72, or getting that level 80, or in my case, getting that tier 4. And getting those upgrades will often push you through and kind of cascade into several more stages that you're able to complete after these roadblocks. You also may need to invest in some ignore dodge for your characters, as you can see a lot of dodge coming up on some of these characters when that becomes problematic. We'll also break down my team and how this works as far as getting through dispatch easier. But yeah, you're going to have to make some adjustments to get through some of these stages. The next one we will look at is stage 12-3. And this was another one where I simply just needed more power and ended up having to wait a few more days or a day to gain a little more power and push through Miss Marvel Kamala Khan. The other one in 12 was 12-5, and this one's important. This is where you run into Thane, And I did quite a bit of research on this, and a lot of people said it was because they were level 80. But if you look back, every enemy in the Sector 12 dispatch stages is level 80. So it's not simply that they're level 80. And then after I looked a little further, I saw several people saying that Thane only takes instinct damage. And without going into a long explanation about instinct damage, it's mostly gained through tier 4ing characters and is a system that upgrades stats for tier 4 characters. So when I tier 4'd Loki, that's when I was able to get through Thane. Before that, he felt like an absolute brick wall and just took no damage. Black Bolt would die in seconds, and Thane would simply not take damage. And that leads us to where I am today. And that is stage 13-5. Sector 13 mostly just fell down once we got past Scourge here. He was a bit of a challenge, and I'll explain how that happened, because I think this stage would be a roadblock for a lot of people. But this is where we're stuck currently. And on this stage, the difficulty simply ramps up so much that I basically don't do damage anymore. And it'll likely take a second tier 4 or a team of 2 tier 4s and a level 80 or some combination like that to get through. I think we're done cheating. I can't cheat with my team anymore. All right, moving on. So now we'll go into explaining just how we cleared through these stages and the team that we used and how that team works in dispatch mode. So Loki was kind of the all-star of our team. I will give a brief summary of why I invested so heavily into Loki here, but I think I'll be making a separate video on that because it's kind of complicated. I will say this: Loki is really bad in World Boss Legend. He's difficult to play at times, and he's very squishy. He's not particularly good on autoplay for dimension rifts or dispatch missions or anything. He does okay. What he is very, very good at is killing lots of mobs on the screen together, or a boss that is surrounded by a bunch of little mobs. And that is what you have in dispatch. We'll walk down and look at a little bit of the build. My Loki's tier 4. Uru, amplified, mostly 6 and 5 star. Skills, obviously 10, because we're tier 4. I did use the rank 6 advanced type enhancement ticket that you get early in the game for Loki, which probably assisted in some of the things I was able to do. Right now we've got stage 10 overdrive. We've got a mini rage, crit rate, crit damage obelisk. Could be better, but this is quite good, and I've been using it on him for some time. I've also been investing in his uniform as we go. Dr. Voodoo is naked, but I will show you why we use Dr. Voodoo, and that is simply his leadership right here. Dr. Voodoo's leadership increases all debuff effects by 40%, and this takes all of Loki's defense down debuffs and things like that, and increases their effectiveness and allows you to do some pretty wonky stuff in dispatch. So Dr. Voodoo, who's available through biometric selectors or the shop, easy character to acquire. You can use a 6-star selector and pick him up for his leadership. And then I had Hulk in the 3rd slot for most of my clearing, but I believe at the beginning I may have gotten some cheeky clears with Iron Man's 200% extra damage to enemies below 30% health, just to throw that out there. The other thing I'll tell you guys about these dispatch clears, particularly the clear through Scourge, this account I have been pushing very, very hard on, and I had good cards all the way from the get-go. I was upgrading my cards as much as I could, and fairly early on, we did get this Ghost Rider card equipped, and I will show you in my card effects here. We have a 20% all attacks proc, and we also have a 20% energy attack proc. I believe the only reason I was able to clear Scourge's stage 12-1, I believe it is, was because everything in my arsenal procced at the same time on a tier 4 rotation with the tier 3. And absolutely everything happened perfectly at once. And I just want people to know that I had to run that stage probably 30 times to clear through it. So some of these are not easy. Definitely needed the Pierce on the Doctor Strange cards, things like that. I also will point out how important it is to build up an early set of swords. I definitely had at least 20% all attack early on in the game. All right, so we're gonna do one more thing in this guide here for you all. We're gonna head over to stage 12.5, and I'm gonna show you exactly how I play Loki in these stages. So let's get in there and check it out. And hopefully I'll be able to clear it. Thane is very resistant to damage, so we'll see how we do. So we're just gonna open with our standard AoE rotation, hope that we clear a little bit of this second group of mobs. And the whole thing we're watching here is our placement, when the waves are spawning, where the waves are spawning. There's a lot to optimize and watch out for in these runs, like not hitting your tier 4 before your tier 3 before your tier 4. A lot of positioning optimization. And some of that you need if you're going to clear through some of these roadblock stages. You'll have to get really good at clearing the 2 stages of just regular mobs before the boss to get yourself as much time as possible on the boss. Otherwise, you won't be able to make it through. It's one of the things I absolutely love about dispatch mode is that you can run it without energy, which allows you to keep trying and push against things that are hard, and it feels really good to push through those walls. So we'll head into the second room here. You can see Loki's 5th skill through his regular rotation does just a tremendous amount of damage to these groups of mobs. They honestly don't stand a chance. I'm holding the tier 4 and tier 3 here because I know a large group of mobs are going to spawn out here in the middle. I'm going to use a regular rotation on these guys here. Unfortunately, they got spread out on different sides of the room, which is going to happen. And something like that can mean that this wasn't the dispatch run, you know, that this isn't the run. And I may have to start over, or we may just not have enough time. And it's more likely, since we're recording on a mouse and a keyboard on BlueStacks, that we're going to run out of time. But yeah, I did just want to show you guys kind of how Loki works in a dispatch stage. We'll head over here to where all these guys spawn to use our tier 3 and hope we can get a big clear. And there should be about 2 more groups of mobs that spawn here. We'll get a regular rotation in, and then I won't even hesitate if I need to. We won't need to use the tier 4, tier 3. But I would use it because you can wait before the last room and let your skills recharge before you move forward. You can see here the timer stops going down. So you can just sit and wait if you need to for your tier 4, tier 3, or just your tier 3 to recharge before you head into the boss room. All right, so here we go. Pay attention to how quickly Black Bolt's going to die and how slowly Thane's going to die. So there goes Black Bolt. He's done. He's going to go ahead and take a seat. And then Thane here is going to take some work. And I do believe it is him only taking instinct damage or something like that. You can see it's very small numbers. Sometimes there's something about Loki's tier 3, and I won't get too into this because it gets into stuff that I just don't even know where there's information on it. We got silence there. Loki's tier 3 seems to be able to rip through weird kinds of defenses. I'm actually able to kill some of the elemental mobs on the story mode ultimate stages that require elemental damage with Loki, who does no elemental damage. So you can see there we weren't even able to kill Thane that time, which is fine. It's a good showcase of what it takes to get through some of these stages. So there you go, guys. That's going to be all for the dispatch guide. If you felt like this guide was helpful at all, please go ahead and hit that like button. If you're interested in more content and guides like this, or you want to follow along with the live stream series, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I'm Olden Gray. This is Free to Play, and I hope you all have a spectacular day. Thank you so much.